Kia ora. Today I'm going to share with you a page I've put together to recognise my daughter's last high school formal. I will have one son with a formal next year, however it's a little bit different for boys than it is for girls when it comes to getting ready. So here I'm going to use the Sweet Girl Collection. The colours that her dress and things were fitted beautifully with this collection, and no, we didn't buy the dress specifically. There are some great foam letter stickers, and the Picture My Life cards here fit beautifully with the set. I didn't get the full collection. My children are that little bit older, and so the stickers and things that came with the full collection didn't really suit the kinds of purposes I would have for them. So I've got a lot of the set. I've even got the sapphire thread. However, I just didn't get the full collection this time, but I'm really loving playing with these papers. So here I'm just going through this collection and having a look at which papers suit the photo and what will sort of help the photos jump out. So I've just got a couple of photos of my daughter getting all dressed when she is all dressed up. So this was just taken at home before we took her in to town. So I've chosen this sort of wood grain paper with a white sort of pattern to frame it all the way around, and I'm going to tuck behind the photos a few of these different papers and one of the Picture My Life cards, and I'm going to tuck in a couple of the smaller Picture My Life cards as well. So the colours that are in this collection are peach, ballerina, New England ivy, fern, sapphire, heather, mink, linen and white daisy. And so you'll see aspects of each of these colours sort of in the papers that I'm playing with in this layout. And so again, just looking at how I can possibly tuck these cards, looking for balance, wanting to find a way to pull them in to the layout to enhance the photos and help them jump out more so than to just be there for the sake of being there. So I ended up pulling this bigger Picture My Life card. I liked the leaves up each side of it, the foliage type pattern, and I decided also to create a cut on the Cricut. So I pulled in together a few different cartridge pieces, connected them up, files from the cartridge using a few of the Close to My Heart cartridges, and I'm just trying to think of the name that you use when I attached them and then I welded them together so they'd cut out in one cut file. Now for the cut, I used some of the white glitter paper. Now this is an older glitter paper. It's no longer available, but you can still get the glitter in sugar plum, gold, silver and black, and that's New Zealand, $12 for 3 12 by 12 sheets. So I'm now just sort of sticking the pattern papers together, and I'm using a mixture of the tape roller and also some of the 3D foam tape. Now I am using here the liquid glass fine tip applicator, which is new out in this catalogue. It is $8 and this is absolutely fabulous. You get tiny little really fine details on it, but the pink lid that you can see up there to the top lid actually has a needle built into it. I had a needle in my kit specifically for poking holes through the glass to get it working again, but this lid actually has a fine tip piece that will keep it through so it won't dry up. So just patting that onto the pattern paper, and you can see I was putting that in there with that pin poking through to keep the liquid glass flowing beautifully. So here the foam tape as well, just to give it a little bit of dimension, and it means that it's easier for me to tuck pieces in behind. So I'm going to use some of the silver thread, and I'm just going to sort of bunch it up into some loops, and I'm using a glue dot to stick it onto the layout, and this will tuck in behind the photos. And I pull them in here and I check that out, and I decide I need a little bit more because I need a little bit wider. So again, similar process, but using 3 fingers this time rather than the 2 to make that a little bit of a wider thing. Another glue dot, sticking them down and holding them on there. So there, the photos, because of where I position those silver loops, the photos will now sit a little bit over more to the right than I'd initially planned, which just sort of changes where I'm going to put the other cards. the other Picture My Life cards. Now the Picture My Life cards are $10.50 New Zealand for that set. The white alphabet foam stickers that you'll see me use a little bit later on are $12 New Zealand. The paper collection that I'm using is $18 New Zealand, and it's 12 sheets with 6 double-sided pieces that you saw at the start there when I flicked through them. And there's also a gorgeous sapphire crochet thread, which is $5.50. However, I don't actually end up using it. It didn't fit with the colours in this page. So you can see here that I've cut in half, or cut part of the Picture My Life card off so I can use the other piece later. And I've just done my journaling on some of it. It meant that I wasn't wasting the whole card when I didn't actually want all of it showing as a block. So now I'm going to pull out the foam letters, and I was really excited to see these come out in this kit. I love using foam alpha, and you'll see as I move through that I do something else with them so they don't just stay the plain white foam alphabets. And so just putting in the title. Now these stick down nicely onto both the glitter paper and the paper underneath, despite there being a few different layers in there. And when I sort of did it visually by eye, just to work out where to start placing these letters so that they would go across, I have seen all sorts of tricks where people have stuck this on sort of clear acetate type thing to line them up beautifully. Now I decided that the plain white stamps didn't quite do it for me, so I had a look through some of my stamps, just wanting to add a little bit more detail on the top of these. So I'm just using the black ink, and I'm going to stamp onto some border alphas I have from a previous book, and just stamping these on top of the letter to give it a little bit more, just something else. They're not just plain white alpha on the bottom there. And I chose sort of a small floral design because that fits with the rest of the page. I was really keen to use those the rose gold glitter collection, but I never quite got there. One of the sheets, or two of the sheets actually, that come in this collection have some cut aparts on one side and some plain paper on the other. And you'll see me here, I'm just placing some of these cut aparts that I've cut out from that background onto the layout, tucking them behind, and out comes that glue that I believe has become heaps more practical now that it's got that special little top on it. Before I was always sort of reluctant to open it up and get it unless I really needed that particular glue, because I'd have to poke a hole in the top to make it work. So carefully putting that lid on so that the pin that's built into it goes straight back through. Now I'm going to use a few of our older gems and glitter type things just to add a bit more colour, a bit more dimension, and a little bit more interest. So the gems come in, that currently available, are $8.50 New Zealand, and I'll also use some clear sparkles, which are $5.50 New Zealand as well. So just again, I'm using the tweezers just to place these around. I find it easier to swipe the gems and the glitter things off the sheets so that I don't leave the glue dots behind when I take them off. So just tucking them on into some different places there, and choosing a few different colours, a few different sparkles. Didn't want too many, and there's also some self-adhesive gems that I've sequins that I've had as well, so I used them from some of the collection. Again, keen to use those glitter, that glitter collection, but I never quite got there. It worked without it. So I decided to use the clear shimmer brush to go over these letters, just to give them a little bit more sparkle, to help them fit in even more with what's on the background. And this clear shimmer brush is $8.50 New Zealand, and you can actually get a few different colours of these, or you can use our ink refills to colour the brushes, and there's different videos around and things that you can use, that you can see to do that. So here we go, just a few of the details, showing you a little bit of the dimension, a little bit of the sparkle. I don't believe these photos show you the true sparkly nature of this collection and the way this page has come together. Thank you for watching.